Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Veedu Vidz in the house. I hope you are doing well. Before we get started on the video, please make sure to like and subscribe and to hit the bell notification. Over the last couple of days, I've been receiving Instagram messages, Facebook messages, and comments on my YouTube channel requesting me to talk about what's happening with Abdullah and Hasanat. For those of you who do not know who these people are, do not worry. I'm here to walk you through the whole scandal, controversy, and let's try and make some sense out of it. So, firstly, Abdullah is a Muslim female, and Hasanat is her husband. They are a Muslim couple. They have a very big presence on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, and all these different social media platforms. The husband, Hasanat, recently got married some months ago, again to a second wife, whose name is Sarah. The first wife's name is Roxana. The second wife is also a friend of the first wife. So they are very close and very cool with each other. So there's not any acrimony, not any conflict in the family on the surface. They seem like a very nice, happy, three-way, whatever, family on the surface on social media. That's number one. Number two is that this family, these three adults, also perform ruqya. Now, ruqya, for those of you who are not aware or familiar with the term, is basically like a Muslim version of exorcising a demon or evil spirit from someone's body. That's a very simplistic way of looking at it, and they exorcise this demon by reading the Quran or saying prayers or whatever it is, or doing certain things. There's a whole procedure behind it. And if someone says, if someone comes to you and says, I'm possessed, or I have someone who's possessed, they would read the Quran and do all these different things, and they would exorcise the demon to return you to your natural state. Now, obviously, I don't believe in this kind of stuff because I am not a Muslim. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in spirits and demons and jinns and all the rest of it. So I think this whole industry, ruqya industry, is all nonsense. And they used to charge hundreds of pounds per session. So they're making money from these ruqya sort of service. And bear in mind, I want to reference or maybe point out to you that some time ago there was a ruqya video where the man, the Hasanat, was performing, quote unquote, he was supposedly performing ruqya or exorcism on a female in niqab who is believed to be Abdullah, his wife. And while he's performing this ruqya, you can hear in his voice that he starts kind of laughing. He kind of isn't taking it seriously. I'm just going to leave that there for you now, and we'll come back to that later.
Have you had enough? Live in the obedience of Allah. Why? Why won't you leave? And what's your mission?
To destroy!
You know very well how wrong this is, and that Allah will hold you to account for it. This is your last chance to leave before I start torturing you again. This is your last chance to leave. Filthy khabith. Maybe this will change your mind. وَلَقَدْ ذَرَأْنَا لِجَهَنَّمَ كَثِيرًا مِنَ الْجِنِّ.
Now, the next point is, where did this controversy begin? What is the big deal? There's a family, Muslim family, who love each other, supposedly, and they have a social media presence. What's the big deal about that? Well, the big deal is that the first wife, Roxana, was caught out having multiple Instagram accounts where she was appearing without her niqab, in full makeup. I feel like I'm sounding like a Salafi now. In full makeup, brother, with, listening to music and going clubbing and mixing with, men that are not her husband. Basically, the complete opposite of her social media persona, with a niqab and only with her husband. The complete and utter opposite. I'm not judging her for doing that. That in itself I don't have a problem with, but obviously there is you could say a double standard, a double life that she is living, and through various different clues and giveaways in the photos in her Instagram, people realize that actually this is the same person as Roxana, because she would take a picture in a certain location in her sort of alter ego without her niqab, and then she would take a picture or a video in her niqab, and the location and the setting would be exactly the same, different clues. It's a whole different process, and there are many different videos on YouTube. You can check it out. Basically, it was firmly established that this is the same person. So that was a big what the hell is going on here. The next part is that Hasanat, the husband, he was accused of being agnostic, and his wife, the first wife, Rukhsana, confirmed that during their marriage he became agnostic, and she also became agnostic. Now, I have an issue here because I don't know how they are defining that term, or how they are using that term. Are they using the term the same way I would use a term and say, I'm agnostic, I don't know if there's a God, I don't believe in a God? Or are they using the term agnostic in the sense that they are agnostic or have doubts about certain things in Islam? Now, if it's that, then I suppose many Muslims or Christians or Hindus or whoever, many people of many religions have questions about their religion that they are unable to answer. Right? That's not that bad. That's nothing new. I'm just asking, I don't know how they are using the term agnostic. Now, what is more interesting about the situation is that he was accused of forcing his wives or other people to become agnostic as well. I, again, don't understand what that means. Was he forcing them to not believe in Islam? Or was he simply telling people that I have doubts, these are my doubts, let's talk about them? I know certain Muslims are very resistant or have a very bad way of conducting conversations when people have beliefs. They become very defensive. So they could say, oh, he's forcing his agnosticism on me. Is it one real forcing, saying you cannot believe in Islam, or is it simply having a conversation and having debates? I don't know which one it is. Either way, that's something which we might or might not find out later on. But another point is, when did he first become agnostic? Was he agnostic from the very beginning? And this whole social media thing was like planned, like we'll make this social media profile, sell this story that we're a Muslim couple, we love each other? Or did he become agnostic later on down the line through his experiences? That's another question. Now, going back to that Ruqya video, where Hasanat seemed to be insincere and mocking the whole sort of Ruqya process, where he's kind of laughing at the whole thing. This is just my theory. I could be completely and utterly wrong, but I'm just guessing here. Did he realize that Ruqya, the process of trying to exorcise demons and jinns and all the rest of it, that whole process or procedure is nonsense? And he was like, hang on, like, I don't know how to do this. Yet people believe I know how to do this. The patient feels like they are improving, or the patient's family believes that, you know what, I'm doing a good job. And he was like, damn, like, this is just a game. This is nonsense. Did he come to that realization? And then he made that mocking video of the whole process, that Ruqya video. Was that something which happened? This is just a theory. It's just a guess. I have no idea. I can't prove it either way. Now, the important point to note is that either way, this is very, very dishonest. Because if he was agnostic and he's still carrying out these Ruqya service for a fee, hundreds of pounds people are paying for this Ruqya service, and if he doesn't believe this thing works, then he is an utter thief. There is no two ways about it. If I come to you and say I can cure you, or I can help you get rid of your illness, and I know that I haven't got the cure, but you're someone who's desperate and you're willing to pay me money, and I'm willing to play a game and wear certain clothes and say certain things in a different language, and you believe me, I am a fraud, I am a liar, I am a thief. If he did that, then that is unbelievably dishonest, and as far as I'm concerned, that is despicable behavior and should not be excused. Now, I would actually go one step further, whether you like it or not, and I consider all of these people, even if they sincerely believe that they are doing God's work, I consider all of them frauds, because I don't believe in this whole industry of jinns and magic and all this kind of stuff. I think the whole thing is rubbish, is nonsense. There are people out there with serious illnesses. They need to go to a doctor. They don't need to go to someone who's going to speak to them in Arabic or Hebrew or Sanskrit and be like, or whatever, you know. That is complete and utter nonsense. It is a disservice to the patient for you to put them through that procedure. And it is humiliating, and it could make things much worse. Last point. There is accusations that he, Hasanat, the husband, put his wives through physical or psychological abuse. Do I believe this guy is manipulative? I think so. Is he a liar? I think so. So is it possible that he physically or psychologically abused them? It is possible. Now, it depends how you define, how the Muslims who have made these statements define physical abuse. Now, I feel embarrassed or bad saying this, but it was insinuated by certain YouTubers and certain posts put out that that Hasanat had sexual relations that were inappropriate in the Islamic context. I don't want to expand any further because I haven't got any proof, and I feel bad, saying that about someone's personal life is not my business. But you could say extramarital affairs. I'm going to leave it at that. You can you can come up to whatever conclusion you want. So physical doesn't necessarily mean beating. Nevertheless, if he did physically abuse his own wives, obviously that is despicable, and he should be behind bars if that is true. If he physically abused them in terms of beating his wives or any other kind of psychological abuse. So in conclusion, the real reason why I made this video, it is because magic is not real. Black magic, white magic, whatever kind of magic, jinn, demon, is not real. And mental health is a very, very serious issue. It really pains and annoys me when there are people who claim or believe, they may be sincere in their belief that they are possessed or that there's someone inside them, a spirit or whatever. It really hurts me when they go to people who don't know the first thing about mental health, don't know the first thing about biology, and they are not a qualified doctor, and they go to these people and are willing to give them a ton of money and be led down a complete false track of cure, quote unquote cure. That is the real reason why I made this video. My fellow Muslims, Christians, whoever you are out there, or even atheists, if you believe in this sort of ghosts, jinns, magic, potions kind of nonsense, honestly, this is a huge multi-billion-dollar industry which is completely fraudulent. There is no right way of giving ruqyah. There is no right way of exorcising a demon from someone. You need to seek medical help. Mental health is very, very important. It could be schizophrenia, it could be psychological trauma, it could be compartmentalizing trauma and playing out different personas in your head. It could be a whole range of things, but it's not going to be demons and jinns and all the rest of it. So I would urge everyone out there to stop funding this nonsense industry, this fake industry, and go and seek a doctor. Thank you.